Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, one of the South Africa opposition leader, who also happened to be the EFF party leader, Julius Malema, came out to congratulate William Samoei Ruto after the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati declared William Ruto president-elect according to his own figures. And this is what Malema told both William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Number one, Malema has congratulated William Ruto and he has told him to be part of building Africa continent which is independent and free from war and poverty. Mark those two words, war and poverty. But again, he has told Raila Odinga to accept results and not to be power hungry. Now, after Malema saying this, Raila Odinga supporters are not happy with that statement. And Professor Mutahi Ngunyi is among the people who have fired back at Julius Malema. So I want you to listen to Malema shortly after this. We want to read what message Mutahi Ngunyi has for Julius Malema of South Africa.
Of Kenya. President Ruto must thus form part of the efforts of building an independent continent which is free from war and poverty. This morning, I spoke to President-elect William Ruto and congratulated him for winning the democratic elections in Kenya. We encouraged President Ruto to handle and preside over the transition with maximum care in a manner that must not degenerate into violent confrontations. We call on Mr. Raila Odinga to accept the election outcome and not form part of a tradition of causing instability and uncertainty on African governance. Mr. Odinga must humble himself and form part of government that will address the challenges confronting the people of Kenya and not allow history to remember him as an individual who was desperate for power at the cost of the progress of his nation.
Now, after Julius Malema's statement, this is what Professor Mutahi Ngunyi is telling Julius Malema. Malema has the heart of a lion and the brain of an ox. This is why he does not understand Kenyan elections. Compared to Kenya, South Africa live in a banana republic. Kenya is beyond them. That is Mutahi Ngunyi. Unajua wakati Mutahi Ngunyi anasema ya kwamba Julius Malema has a heart of a lion, of course we understand how he act, fearless man. But now he hit at him by suggesting that the same Julius Malema has a brain of ox. Ako na roho ya simba lakini ako na akili ya ng'ombe. His brain can be compared to a bull or a cow for that matter. Hiyo ndio Professor Mutahi Ngunyi anakusudia hapa. But now we want to use this opportunity to understand really where Julius Malema is failing as far as congratulating William Samoei Ruto and the message he had for Raila Odinga, because seemingly Malema is a man who is totally confused and lost. But before we go deep into that, just a quick request. You might be watching this channel but you're not yet subscribed, so my humble request, please consider subscribe so that another time once we release a video like this one, you will always get notified. Again, to all our channel subscribers and anyone who comment, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend our videos to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, when Professor Mutahi Ngunyi says that if you try to compare the democracy that Malema is fighting for in South Africa to what we have in Kenya, because he's saying that Kenya had a democratic election, the truth of the matter is that Malema is still fighting for the freedom of land ownership in South Africa. So in South Africa, the land is still in the hands of either the state or the white people who are staying in South Africa. But the real South Africans don't have their own land. That is the freedom Malema is fighting for. But then when you come to Kenya, it is something different. In Kenya, we are not fighting for freedom of land. It is just the other issues we are fighting for. Freedom of speech, you know, all those other things. But not freedom for land, because anyone can have his own land, and of course, watu wako na mashamba yao. But then if you come to talk about the issue of land, ni watu wagani wako na mashamba makubwa? Is Ruto in that bracket, or is not in that similar bracket? The truth of the matter is that Ruto is in the bracket of those people who have amassed big chunk of land in this country. Something that Malema is fighting against in South Africa. So Malema might have had the right message, but sending to a wrong person. That's the truth of the matter. Because now, if you talk about fighting poverty in Africa, the question is, we are in Jubilee government, which was formed in 2013, imeendelea 2017. Who has been at the helm of power? Okay, we can excuse William Samoei Ruto half from the current Jubilee, which has been running from 2018 there. So after handshake, of course, Raila was part of the advisor to President Uhuru Kenyatta. But then what about 2013? It was half government. Something you cannot compare to where Raila has been helping Uhuru just with the advice. Where is Kenya? Aren't we facing poverty in this country? I think Kenya has faced with a lot of poverty after the late President Mwai Kibaki left power. And who was in power? The power was shared between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. So Ruto has been part of the problem of this country. So Malema cannot tell Kenyans that Ruto can be the solution of this country. No, he cannot be, because he has been part of the problem. Now, when it comes to the issue of violence, because he's saying that Raila should not be part of the violence that has been visited African governments now and then. Then the question we ask ourselves here, that for me personally, I don't want to talk about the issue of surely violence too much, because all of you, or most of you guys, you are going to appreciate that at the time that we faced violence in this country, the areas that was much involved into this issue, definitely, ilikuwa Rift Valley. There's no any other area in this country that experienced violence more than what was seen in Rift Valley. Kwani Ruto anatoka wapi? So if you talk about violence, you should know that. Huko ndio watu walichoma kwa makanisa, including children. Hata watu hawakurudi kwa mashamba yao. So Malema should understand what he's talking about Kenya. When you talk about democracy in Kenya, stealing election does not mean democracy to Kenyans. And in a number of series of videos that we have done here, you can see clear, there is enough evidence. People played with the ballot papers in this country, and we have witnessed rigging of elections. So that does not amount to democracy. Democracy is when you have an election, but then there is a dispute. Instead of someone going to the street, you go to the Supreme Court to seek justice. And you respect the decision of the Supreme Court. I think Raila has done it severally. President Uhuru Kenyatta did it also. When they ruled against him, he accepted the result. He had no option. That is the democracy we are talking about in Kenya. Or Malema was waiting to see Raila Odinga taking his supporters to the street. Then we talk about democracy. Because instead of taking supporters to the street, Raila Odinga has decided to take the matter to the Supreme Court. That is the democracy we needed in this country, and this is what has helped to heal this country all the way from 2013, we're talking about 2017, and now you're talking about 2022. There's no violence that we witnessed in 2007 anymore, because Supreme Court has been part of the solution and the healing in this country. Can you compare that to South Africa? I think even in their system, they have a parliamentary system whereby you vote for members of parliament, and they will get to the parliament where now they will proceed to vote for the president. In Kenya, we don't have that. We don't have parliamentary system. It is different. Now, lastly, when Malema talk about Raila Odinga being desperate for power, I wonder, personally for me, I wonder if Malema does not understand the difference between William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. Because definitely, if you ask anyone in this country, the man who has shown the appetite for power, power hungry, the man who has been ready to use every means possible, be it constitutionally or against the constitution, to get to power, then personally, me, I believe it is William Ruto, but not Raila Odinga. Raila has tried to use only the democratic way to get to power. But William Ruto has used every means, including giving handout to the electorate, bribing the returning officers, compromising the IBC chairman, and even getting access to the IBC servers through the back door to manipulate the election result in his favor. That is the definition of William Ruto in this election. So for me, I want to agree with the Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. Huyu Julius Malema ako tuna akili ya ng'ombe, lakini ndio tunajua ako na roho ya simba. When he decide to fight for something, he go for it. Lakini kimawazo, yeye tu ako na ox brain. As simple as that. Right message, but to the wrong person. Actually, he should have been addressing William Samoei Ruto on the issue of power hungry. And if you want to talk about democracy in this country, you cannot exclude Raila Amolo Odinga, because he has been part and parcel of the fight for democracy in this country, including even suffering through being detained without trial for more than 9 years. That is the description or definition of Raila Amolo Odinga in this country. So that's my view. I don't know what to think about this, but let us meet in the comment section to have a continuation of this conversation.